Good afternoon. Well, yesterday I sent a video from around London, England, actually Canterbury, Kent, Whitstable, which is by the coast, great part of England. And today, voila, here I am outside Chicago. I'm in a friend of mine's house, Dr. Jeff Smith. He's graciously let me to stay here. So I'll be doing a few videos from here and then on down to Peoria to the chiropractic convention. But today I want to talk about, I had a friend of mine, where I live in Switzerland, right across the street, a man, I guess an older man at that time, Mr. Hartman, lived across the street, and he would help me out with different projects and things. And at one point I came home, and his wife is Austrian, so she speaks German, and my German is limited. But she's real patient with me, has been over the years, because she's in a small village from Austria, and I'm in a small village from America, so we're kind of the foreigners in the village. But I walked over to her, she was in the garden, and I said, "Hey, where's Jost?" And she says, "Is tot, is gestorben?" And I thought, well, he's dead? And I said, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, he was feeling poorly, and he went to the doctor, and the doctor wasn't sure what it was, and one day the doctor said, you need to go to Zurich for some tests, and he drove to Zurich and called me at 9:30, and at 10:30 the hospital called and said the tests went kind of funny, and and Jost was dead. And being an alternative physician, I got rather indignant, and I said, "Nicole, would you go over and talk to Mrs. Hartman and make sure that she said what I think she said?" And sure enough, she'd said that. And a few days later, we're walking out of the village, and we pass who is now the president of the local community. And he wasn't then, but he was one of the first organic farmers in our area, and we knew him quite well. And he stopped his Jeep, and he said, "Did you hear about Jost?" And I could feel all of my indignation coming up, thinking, oh, they did a test and they killed my friend. This is ridiculous. And he said, Mick, he said, you should have seen him a couple of weeks before he passed away. He said he was weak and he was getting small, and it just wasn't good. It wasn't him, because at one point we were remodeling the basement, and there was a beam. The beam was probably 30 feet long, and it was like 10 by 10 or 12 by 10. It was big. It was broken in our basement, and I'd asked Jost to look at it, and he asked me if I wanted wood or metal, and I said wood, and he went out in the woods and he cut the beam, loaded it onto a trailer, brought it down to the village. I said how much. When he told me it was $60, I gave him $60 and laughed, and he never has given me change for it, because I thought it was so funny. It was only $60 for this big beam. But it took 3 men to lift up one side of the beam that he put on the trailer by himself and brought down. But my organic farmer friend then said, he said, what a cool thing, huh? I said, what? And he said, what a cool thing for somebody to do. Jost was getting weak, and he went to the hospital, and they put him out of his misery. And I thought, wow, yeah, I guess I would much rather go over to Jost's house and talk to Mrs. Hartman and have her say that he was dead, as opposed to say, oh, let's go upstairs and see Jost, who's withering away in the bedroom. But that was kind of just one of those times when you think you know what's going on. You get indignant because you think you know what happened to your friend. But you look at it, and life is completely different, and they've absolutely served him.